Welcome. Today we're going to show you a four-step process for managing anxiety using mindfit principles and some NLP tools to go with it. First, let's understand anxiety is not your enemy. It's a signal from your nervous system. It's your mind and body preparing you for uncertainty. So the goal here is not to eliminate anxiety. The goal is to regulate your nervous system and therefore your state so you can respond consciously instead of reacting automatically. Today, I'll walk you through a simple four-step process you can use anytime anxiety shows its ugly head. Now, these four areas we're going to look at awareness, regulation, reframing, and activation. So let's begin with awareness. Anxiety becomes overwhelming when it runs automatically in the background and it becomes automatic, subconscious. So the first skill is noticing the state early. So just pause for a moment and ask yourself these three questions. What am I feeling in my body? What thoughts keep repeating? What am I imagining that might happen? And just notice. There's no wrong or right here, and there's no speed. Take your time. Now, instead of saying to yourself, I'm anxious, say to yourself, I notice anxiety is present. Just by flipping that, small language change separates your identity from the experience. Because often people say, I've got this and I've got that, which becomes your identity. I've got this, I've got that. You're not the anxiety. You're an observer of it. And next, scan your body. Where is the tension? In your shoulders, your chest, stomach? How is your breathing? Fast? Shallow? Just noticing this already begins to reduce the intensity. We're becoming more conscious aware of what is happening in the moment. Because awareness activates the thinking part of your brain and you're stepping out of the reaction. When we step out of the reaction, we become more of an observer, and that's step one. So now we move into regulation. Before you change thoughts, let's regulate your nervous system. Your body is the fastest way to shift your state because it's connected to the way you feel, and that becomes part of your muscular system. So let's do a simple mind fit regulation breathing together. So just inhale slowly for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then exhale for 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And do it again. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. Longer exhales signal safety to your nervous system. So practice that. Continue it for a few rounds until you feel comfortable and become a master of it. Now adjust your posture, your feet. Are they grounded? Your shoulders relaxed? Your jaw, your chin. Move your body because it changes your state. It's connected. Slow movements slightly. Your physiology sends constant messages to your brain. So when the time comes, move your body. When your body settles, your mind follows. One more thing. Soften your gaze. Instead of staring at one point, widen your awareness. Look out in front of you and just drop your gaze and just notice the space around you. The peripheral vision tells your brain there's no immediate danger. And that's important when it comes to fear-based states. Most people feel noticeably calm within a minute. And that's regulation. And now that you're beginning to feel calmer, we need to work with the meaning, because that process of internal representations can create false perceptions and change the meaning. And often anxiety involves mental images and future projection. So close your eyes for a minute and just notice what you're seeing. What picture or movie are you playing in your mind when you focus on that particular event? What's happening? When you think of that, what comes to mind? And when that picture in your mind is there, or that movie, I want you to push it away. Close your eyes if you have to. Push it away, make it smaller, and reduce the brightness of it. Turn it down. And if you can, turn it into black and white. As you do that, watch your emotional intensity drop because your brain codes emotionally images through sensory detail. And when you change the internal picture, it will change your feeling. So well done. Now ask yourself, what else could this situation mean? Is there another possibility? Am I predicting something? Am I observing reality? Because often when those internal representations based on your thoughts come into your mind, you can often have false perceptions. Rather than ask what is going wrong here, how do you want to show up regardless of the outcome? That question moves you from fear into choice. And that's the essence of mental performance. And you can see that in your mind. See yourself the way you want to be and practice that. That will change your state and put you back in control. Now we can move into activation because regulation without action will keep the anxiety alive. Ask yourself one simple question. What is one small aligned action that you can take action with right now? Not in 5 minutes or a minute now. Doesn't have to be a big leap, just one small step. That could be sending a message on your phone, speaking to someone, actually physically doing something. Start that one task and continue it for a few minutes. Along with all the other steps, these small actions will build a sense of control. And your brain wants to know that it's back in control. And every time you act while doing this, you'll begin more calmness. You'll be teaching your nervous system that challenge is manageable. You'll teach your nervous system that you are now in control. Confidence is not built by waiting for certainty. It's built by regulated action. That's activation. And this will begin to lower your anxiety. The more you do this, this will become not conscious, but unconscious. And that becomes a pattern that you want. So let's recap. Step 1, awareness. Notice your state. Label it. Observe without judgment. Step 2 is regulation. Slow breathing, relaxed posture, expanded awareness. Step 3, shift your internal images. Get used to that. That is a really powerful tool to change your mental perception and your state, bringing back confidence. Shift your internal images. Choose empowering questions. Ask yourself certain questions that will make you feel more empowered. Step 4, activation. Take one small aligned action. Anxiety is not a stop sign. It's just information. And with practice, you learn to move from reaction into regulation and then into conscious action. So one final suggestion. Practice these tools when you're calm, not when you're overwhelmed, because repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity builds mastery, and your subconscious uses familiarity to replay those patterns. So thank you for listening. Take a breath, notice your state, and remember, you have more influence over your internal world than you may have realized. See you in the next video.